Hello, and welcome to Leave a Light On podcast, a show that looks to tackle the everyday struggles in our everyday lives. It's time to shed some light on it. Here's your hosts, Shane and Chev.
Yo, how's it? Welcome to Leave a Light On podcast. I am Shane, and with me, my co-host Chev.
Hey, legends, how's it going?
Good. Episode 2.
Episode 2. Oh,
Can you believe it? I love this thing.
You're unbelievable.
This is great. Episode 2, Chev. Congratulations. Let's do it.
You're such a child with that thing. Hey, listen to the bloke in the background. He's getting right into it.
Yeah, he is. I love it. I mean, it pumps me up like you cannot believe.
Yeah, episode number 2. I'm really excited.
Episode 2. I'm excited as well, and I'm more excited because this one's all about you, Chev.
Oh, yeah.
I know we all love...
Fantastic.
I know you most love it when it's all about you.
Yeah, I don't mind the centre of attention every now and then.
Yeah.
But when I'm actually talking about my life and all that sort of, a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous.
But yeah, feel free to ask me anything you want. Yeah, I'm pretty open.
We're going to.
Let's hook in. What do you reckon?
Really, really good. Firstly, welcome back.
Yeah, definitely welcome back to you.
Yeah.
Really keen to keep going with this, and the first episode was awesome, and
good.
Hopefully we can elaborate on that.
Yeah, Leave a Light On podcast, as you said. It's a little project that we've started.
Yep.
Just to create a little bit of hope and light into the world. And so it's an exciting venture for us.
Yeah, definitely exciting. I'm really looking forward to what we're talking about, and where things are going to go. So, yeah.
So let's get into it. Chev.
Yep, definitely, let's go.
Who is Chev Caukwell?
So Chevy, I'm 34 years old, work out in the mines, just a general blue-collared worker. Yeah, looks to have fun, and don't take life too seriously, that's for sure. That's awesome. That sounds like let's make a date.
Yeah.
That's what it really sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, it was like a little fairy tale, that, you know?
No, it's
Think
definitely
about it in
not.
the background.
It's definitely not.
34, Chev.
Yep, 34 years old.
It's a good
Act
age.
like I'm about 12.
Yeah.
Don't take life seriously, because obviously if you do, you don't get out alive.
So working in mining, Chev, tell us a little bit about that. How did you get into that?
Yeah, so I was about, I think I was about 19 or 20. I was looking for a career, all that sort of stuff. I had like different jobs when I was younger, but I wanted something that paid a lot with, not paid a lot, but just decent pay that I was happy with. Mining industry just dragged me in because I knew they paid really well.
Yeah.
And just some of the jobs that I had in the mining industry were actually quite good as well. So that's sort of how I started. Plus my old man was in the mines for 41 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, 41 years as an operator.
Long time.
Yeah. So I think he was about 18 or 19 when he first got his job.
Yeah.
And obviously because it pays really well, he just stayed out there. And so I thought, pretty much go out there, make some coin, and have some fun while I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's from what I know. Obviously, I've now joined you in the mining industry. I haven't been as long as you have.
Yeah,
but it's one of the top 10 most paid industries in Australia.
Well, there you go.
Highest paid, should I say?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
they get a lot of money.
A lot of money, yeah, and it's really exciting in that aspect. Obviously, for people like you, who obviously, like you're saying, you want to support a suitable lifestyle. Yeah,
I do. Like, I don't expect to be rich, because I really don't. I don't want to be one of these really fake rich assholes. I don't want to be like that. I just want to make sure that I can provide for my family, keep my kids happy. I've got 3 kids, so 2 step-kids, and I've got my own daughter. Obviously, I just classify them as the whole 3 of them as mine.
Yep.
And as long as they're clothed, fed, schooled, everything like that, I don't care.
Yep.
I don't expect to be a rich man. I just want to live comfortably. At the end of the week, have a few beers, have a few laughs without going, oh, no, I'm struggling to get to the following week. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So I hate not having money because that stresses me out. But at the end of the day, I don't expect to be rich as long as I can afford my way.
Okay. Well,
and my bills are paid.
I think in order to understand a little bit about who Chev is today, let's go right back to Mini Chev.
Mini Chev.
Mini Chev. I mean, you are mini as
of
now anyway.
But, hey, I make it up for in other
character.
places. Yeah, in character. Yeah.
Let's go with that, brother. You left it very ambiguous there.
Yeah, I know. I try not to say that, but everyone knows what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So small man syndrome.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So
tell us about your childhood, Chev.
Yeah, okay. So I was born on the 26th of the 11th, 1989. So in New South Wales, and just from what I remember, I had not a bad childhood, but I was very out of control. Like my mum was just, mate, she was exhausted all the time with me. Couldn't keep up. Like I was full throttle, especially going to school, full throttle. I was just never in one place at one time. I was just like on the go all the time, growing up and all that sort of stuff, especially through school. Teachers would just talk to my mum and just be like, we can't handle him. He's out of control. Needs to be on medication.
Jeez.
Yeah, seriously. I literally got kicked out of school. I tell you all, I didn't get kicked out of school, but the teachers actually pretty much said, if you don't put him on medication, he's gone.
Okay.
We can't handle him.
Yeah. Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
So I had my sister, but I think we're 8 years apart. And then later on in life, so that was me mum and my stepdad had my sister. So she's, what is that, half sister?
Half sister, yeah.
Yeah, half sister. Then my dad and my stepmum had my brother. But that wasn't until years later. I was about, I think, well, he would have been this year, 18th of July. He would have been, what's the date? What year are we in? 25.
Okay.
So he was born in 2000. So he would be 25 in, so 25 years old.
Okay.
He was born in 2000. So, yeah, I got 3 siblings all up, but unfortunately, at the age of 17, he passed away in a motorbike accident. And, I was waiting for you to see if you were, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure if there was a coming question for that.
Well, yeah,
or if you wanted me to just jump into it.
Let's talk about, obviously, how that affected you.
Oh, mate, I was a mess. I wasn't that bad. I found myself to be the rock a little bit, even though it affected me pretty badly.
Were you close with your brother?
Not as close as what I wanted to be.
Okay.
Because of the age difference, I think it was. He was 17.
What was the age difference?
So he was 17 in 2017, and I would have been like 28.
Okay, so about 10 years.
Yeah, it's about 10 years, 10 or 12 years. Without doing any close calculations, it's about 12 years.
Yeah.
So we were very different in that aspect, because obviously totally different generations.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to spend more time with him, and I would have liked to hang out with him a lot more. But as I said, because of the age difference, it was very he had his crowd of people, I had my mates. And then whenever I would see my old man and my stepmum, I'd go out for dinner with them, but he would be obviously there as well, so I'd talk to him, and do you know what I mean? So we'd still have our time together, but it just wasn't much.
Tell us about how did you find out, obviously, about his passing?
So my old man rang me one day, and I'm pretty sure it was my missus at the time, my ex-wife. She rang me up because I was downtown, and she's like, you need to get home pretty quick, because your old man's trying to call you. And I didn't have my phone on me. My phone, I left at home. Because I was like, I'm stuck out the shops, I'll be back. If it's anything important, people will just ring me missus and whatever. So she rang me before... sorry, I'll tell a lie. She didn't ring because I left my phone. So what happened is, when I got home, she said, you need to ring your dad. Because I noticed there was missed calls on my phone. From my old man, it was about 3 or 4. And she's like, you need to ring your dad because, something's going on. She didn't want to tell me. She wanted my old man to be the one. So she's like, you need to talk to, your dad pretty quick. He's trying to ring me, all that sort of stuff. So I rang him back straight away. And he's literally, man, he is in absolute hysterics.
Have you ever had your dad show any emotion before this point?
None. Absolutely zero.
So was it a shock when...
It was.
Yeah.
When he was crying on the phone. And anyone that knows my old man, who's listening to this right now and knows my old man, knows that he is as tough as an ox. And he shows no emotion. Very old school man, very stern. One of those people that's very pride driven.
Yeah.
Doesn't show any of that. So when I heard him crying on the phone, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What's going on? And he pretty much broke the news and said, your brother's just passed away. You need to get out to my house now. So I jumped in the car because it didn't hit me straight away. I'm thinking, you know how stuff like that doesn't. Yeah, you would know.
Yeah,
as
shock.
well. Like, yeah, you're just shocked. You don't really take it on board straight away. So when I got out there, and everyone was out there, like my stepsisters, my stepmom, my aunties and uncles, everyone was out there. I'm thinking, wow. And that's sort of when I see my old man, he come straight up to me and hugged me and cried in my arms. That's when it hit me.
Wow.
When he actually come up to me and cried in my arms. And I was like, oh, shit, okay, this is proper real. So we went down, because most of my family are from, like, the Hunter Valley type of area. Mm-hmm. So, which is about, from where I live, is about an hour away from where they live. So we went to where they live to have like a bit of a gathering, and obviously with all the family and all that sort of stuff. And one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life, which I hope this upon no one, even my worst enemy, I hope this doesn't happen to him, but me, because my old man couldn't do it, me, my stepmum, and my three sisters, like stepsisters, we had to go and identify my brother in the morgue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was... Mate, I'm obviously dealing with it now. Like, it's one of those things that you sort of learn to deal with and all that sort of stuff. But at the time, man, wow, that is one of the hardest things. Seeing my brother lie in a hospital bed, in the morgue. Man, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. That's crazy. But I will admit that he looked clean and stuff. You know what I mean? I thought I honestly
peaceful almost.
Yeah. See, I thought it was going to be, because I've never had to do that before in my life. So I thought it was because he had a motorbike accident. I thought he's going to be like, I don't mean to speak bad, but he's going to be like messed up type of thing.
Yeah, almost just a bit. Yeah,
from the accident. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I can't. This is why I'm glad to have you on board, because you can help me at least explain it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I thought he might have been a bit messed up from the accident, but he actually looked really clean. Yeah, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
Wow, as you said, peaceful. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. Probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. My old man couldn't do it because he was an absolute mess. He was just like, no, I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. But that was like growing up. But as I said, wishing I had more time to spend with him. But I guess when people pass away, I think you always have that in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you go, I could have done this or I could have done that. Or, yeah, even though me and him were worlds apart, 10, 12 years apart, it was one of those things where you're just like, oh, well, I wish he was still here.
Yeah.
So I could still... But yeah, anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So...
Jeez, okay, so that was 2017, you said.
2017, yeah. So he was born in 2000. So he was born on the 18th of July, 2000, and died in 2017.
Wow.
So he actually died on the 16th of the 7th. So 2 days before his birthday. 2017.
Yeah. Do you find when it comes to that date now that it's significant to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So every time...
Does it hit you harder on that date?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. Because it's gotten to the point where I'm just like it's done. Like, he's passed away. But I still... When it comes around to that date, I still remember that. You know what I mean? That makes sense. But it doesn't hit me hard.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I'm like, it's my brother's birthday.
Yeah.
You know, got to make sure I have a beer for him.
Yeah.
And every day, depends if I'm working or not, but every time that date rocks around, always have half a dozen beers.
Awesome.
Always.
It's always nice to have a little something just to remember them.
Yeah, of course. And I don't get smashed or anything. Like, I don't get drunk or anything like that. Half of that, three, 4 beers. That's usually what I do.
Little tribute is always good.
And I always go, I don't sit at home and do it by myself. Like, on his birthday, I always go to the pub or something. I had 3 or 4 beers and maybe a bit of a pub feed. And
good.
Yeah, just to say, this is my brother. But yeah, my old man's very different. I think my old man and my stepmum have changed. And I don't think for the better. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Not in a bad way, but I don't know how it is to lose a kid. So I think before my brother went, my dad and stepmum were different, but now that he's gone, they're different again, if that makes sense. Like, totally different.
I don't think it's easy to process the loss of a loved one in any
shape
shape or form, especially if it's your child.
Exactly. And we know how hard it is to lose a grandparent.
Yeah.
But I don't know about a mum or a dad or anything, but like a brother. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so... losing a grandparent's one thing, but losing mum or dad or brother or sister, that'd be next level.
Yeah, it's a different kind of pain, hey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, especially to see my old man and the way he was.
Yeah.
That's just not normal.
Shame, man.
Because
I can only imagine, honestly.
I've never seen my old man like that. And
Yeah,
as I said, anyone that knows my old man that's listening, strong as an ox.
Yeah.
I've never seen him cry before in my life until that day.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
let's
sorry to go top and heavy.
No, sorry. There's no need to be sorry at all. Like me getting to know you and getting to understand you, which is great. Let's go back before this all happened. Obviously, back to the childhood. You were obviously saying you were a bit of a wild child. You obviously had a few issues with teachers. Let's elaborate on issues. Yep. What do you mean by you had issues with teachers?
So I would do stuff like, so I was very hyperactive. Mm-hmm. So I would be like in class, upsetting everyone, just having jokes. I was more like the class clown.
You still are.
Yeah, I know. I know it's terrible, isn't it? So I'd be upsetting everyone and carrying on. And I remember one day I was at school and I really didn't want to be there. I hated school, could not stand it. And I jumped out the classroom window. And my nan used to live around the corner from the school. Went to her house and I was like, yeah, Nan, what's up? What's going on? She goes, hey, you meant to be at school? I'm like, yeah, nah, couldn't be bothered. Just done with it. So I just had enough. And that was before I was on medication. So just one little detail, but there's other stuff in there. But yeah, I was done with school, so I jumped out the window and went and seen Nan.
Okay.
So I was like, because you know what I mean? Like, and not just that, but I'd upset everyone else, and like I wouldn't swear or carry on or be bad in that sense, but I was just disruptive.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. I was just like, I don't have the attention span to sit here and do bookwork.
Yeah,
it's doing my head in. Mm. So PE and music were my favourite subjects at school.
Interesting.
So because I used to play bass in the band.
Yep.
So my passion grew for that. That's why music was one of my favourite subjects, and PE because the amount of energy I had, man.
Yeah.
I was like, get out in the playground and just run around like an idiot. So I'd get out and we'd play like lacrosse or soccer or football or whatever it may be, and I'd just burn off my energy there.
Yeah.
It's good. So PE was one of my favourites.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, well, I'd love to delve more into that, especially the music side of things. But obviously in that statement there, you mentioned medication.
Yes.
What medication were you on and why?
Yeah, that's right. So the 17th of March, 2000, I think I was about 10, 11. That's when I got diagnosed. I went to Sydney to the neurologist. Neurologist? Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
These medical words are going to stuff me up.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
So we went to the neurologist in Sydney. And they said, my mum's like, he's got behavioural issues, all this sort of stuff. Like, I'm not getting any sleep because I'm so exhausted. So they did all their tests and yada, 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 whatever else. Went through all the rigmarole. Then they said, yep, you got ADHD. Yeah, that's why you're white and you're on the spectrum of autism.
Okay.
So they were like, obviously, there's certain things that trigger him.
So ADHD, what did that mean to you?
So obviously being that young, I had no idea.
Yep.
But as a kid's point of view, how I felt, I honestly thought there was a problem with me.
Okay.
And I didn't cry or anything like that, but I was so worried.
Yeah.
Like, when they were talking about putting me on medication, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just a normal kid. Like, I'm all right. I'm just like everyone else. But now that I'm older and I look back at that and it's just like medication was the best thing for me.
Okay, so medication. Obviously, the general medication for ADHD is Ritalin.
Yeah, didn't work.
Didn't work. Okay.
So it was terrible. So they put me on Ritalin. So with ADHD as well, it's one of those things that there's never an actual cause for it. The doctors, from what I understand, the doctors always put it down as genes or lifestyle, or they don't really have a thing for it.
So when you say there's no real cause for it, basically what you mean is there isn't one thing that you can pinpoint to say this is the reason why you have it. That's
what me and my mum got told.
So like lung cancer, you could be like, well, it's because you smoke.
Exactly.
That's the cause of lung
exactly.
Cancer.
When this was, as I said, this was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So there's probably something different now. But when we went, the doctors always said to us, they said there is no real reason for ADHD. It's one of those ones that's just either like lifestyle or generic from your parents, from genes, stuff like that. So then there's only two things that you can do for it that they know of is like obviously with you can take medication.
Yep.
Or you do like psychotherapy or whatever it's called. Like you can do like different exercises or whatever. So, but they just put me because I was so young. I was only like 10 or 11. They put me on medication straight away because I was going through school and I was disrupting everyone and like I was never violent.
Yeah.
I was just upsetting everyone.
Yeah.
So that's why they put me on that medication, which is Ritalin. But with ADHD medication, it's one of those things that it's just personal thing. So Ritalin didn't work for me where, just say for argument's sake, you had ADHD, you took Ritalin, might work for you.
Yeah.
Just personal thing. So I ended up getting on dexamphetamine, which is pretty much straight speed.
Wow.
So anyone like yourself would be off your tree.
Yeah.
That, for me, it's like taking a Valium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 100% it is. It's so good.
It is. I can imagine it's so
good. I know. I'm on the waiting list right now.
Yeah.
Which we'll dive into when you ask me more stuff. But yeah, I've got to get remedicated.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So this obviously happened 10, 11 years old. You got diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah, it's about
What
10.
changed after this?
So it was really good. I noticed. So if anyone out there listening has ever seen Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first one.
I think most people have seen Spider-Man.
Yeah, with the very first one where Flash fights Tobey Maguire.
Yeah?
Yeah. Flash.
Okay.
Yeah, the bully at the school.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So where Flash fights... What's Spider-Man's name? What's his name?
Peter Parker?
Peter, that's all.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen that scene where Flash goes to punch him in the back of the head...
Yep.
But then Peter Parker can see the punch coming.
Old Spidey senses.
Spidey senses?
Yeah.
I know, I'm not saying it's Spidey senses.
You have Spidey senses.
Well, yeah, I guess you could... No, I'd start. But when you take medication, ADHD medication, everything's slow motion.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. So if
So
you've
like
ever
just
seen
things
that
going
scene...
slow.
Yeah, if you've ever seen that scene where...
He's fighting him and he's dodging the
just like,
punches.
it's like that. It's
Yeah.
literally everything just slows down. And it feels like you can accomplish anything.
Okay.
That's what it feels like. For me, anyway. Everyone's different. Depends who's listening. Yeah, people might go, oh, no, that's not how I feel, whatever. But everyone's different. So to me, everything slows down and you concentrate. It's like having a crowd full of people. Best way to describe. Crowd full of people, and I'm talking like a big crowd full of people. Everyone talking, and everyone talking over top of each other.
Yep.
Everyone getting louder and louder and louder because they can't... Yeah, you're talking too loud, he's talking too loud, so people are talking louder and louder.
Yep.
And then someone just turns down the volume.
Okay.
Literally turns the volume down until you can't hear anything.
Wow.
That's what it sounds like, or that's what it's like in your head. So picture the people talking.
Yep.
That's what's in your head. And then you
Okay.
turn the volume down.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you take your medication,
Yeah.
it's like you've just drowned everyone out. It's awesome.
Yeah. So
It's
for
really
people who aren't kind of accustomed with ADHD, which I think majority of listeners will be.
Yeah.
But, you know, we never know. We're not going to be ignorant in this.
Yep.
ADHD.
Yep.
Basically, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
from
sure.
what I know, ADHD is a hyperactivity disorder
Yes.
based on neurodevelopment.
Yep. You're already yep.
And it's obviously affects individuals' ability to focus
Yes.
either on one task or a particular task.
Yep.
To control impulses, like you said.
Yep.
And then also to regulate energy levels.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like you say, you would just have these bursts of energy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, if you don't have an idea of what ADHD, that's what ADHD does.
Yep.
You've obviously now said in taking your medication, it helped you focus on one thing.
Yes, it did.
Slowed things down, so your energy levels were kind of a little bit more controlled. You weren't just having these random bursts of energy and things like that. Did you find that life got better for you?
It did, but...
Like at school, were the teachers more warm towards you? Did they like start to say, hey, Chev's really changed, like he's really trying?
So when teacher-parent interviews come around, the teachers actually did say to my mum that he's like totally different person.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but he's like listening, he's doing as he's told, he's not, But because I was younger, back in the day, I was like, I don't want to take this.
Okay.
Because I was...
So you stopped taking your medication?
Yeah, but Mum would be like, no, you got to take it, I can't handle you.
Okay.
I can't handle you, you're taking it.
I don't think many kids out there like taking medication.
No. Well, my purpose for not taking it, like I did, because Mum would force me to take it, But my purpose of not taking it was I was so insecure of what people would think about me taking medication. They thought I was like, oh, Chev's different. He's not like, do you know what I mean? Like, and especially being that age, I think a lot of kids don't understand, and they haven't got the brain capacity to understand that, you know, you're not a different, like you're not normal, like you're not normal, like you're all the same. But it's real hard. Like I think you become a target for bullying. That's what I was afraid of.
Okay, interesting.
Because that's why I didn't want to tell anyone that I was on medication, because I was worried and insecure.
Okay, and let's fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, yeah. When I was going through school, not so much high school, but when I was going through like 5, year 6, right up until year 7.
Those real fundamental ages of kind of discovering who you are.
Exactly. I got the shit kicked out of me, man. Yeah. Like by bullies, full on, 100%. I would always get like belted up. I'd always like,
How did you handle that?
Oh, great difficulty. Because I was, I mean,
did you speak about it?
No, definitely not. I wasn't. I'm not a dobber in any way, shape or form. Like, so that sort of stuff, I just keep to myself and just be like, be right. I shrug it off because I'm not a person that, oh no, I got bashed at school. Rah, rah. I'm not one for doing that.
Yeah.
I just push it to the side and be like, tomorrow's another day. You'll be right. But I did suffer from a lot of bullying, a lot of beatings at school until I got to about year 8. Year 8, I just got a totally different attitude.
What changed in year 8?
So it got to the point where I was getting older and I started getting this mental capacity. I was still on medication and all that, but I got to getting this capacity in my head thinking, you know what? I'm just going to be the bad person. And I don't mean in a bad way. I just mean like anyone that wants to, rip on me or try and have a go at me, I'm just going to pretty much tell them to go jog on.
Okay.
Yeah, in other words, obviously.
Yeah.
So I got this really I don't give a shit attitude, which is not a good thing, but going through my high school years, it helped me out because it turned me a little bit into the person that people wanted to hang out with.
Okay.
So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was like one of those people where I'm like, I don't care for you.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like as I said, never violent, not a violent bone in my body.
Yeah.
Just my attitude changed, and I was like, So everyone was like, oh, Chev's cool. Like he's just like, doesn't give a shit about anything. He's just happy to do whatever. And I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. Where before I was not myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think that was your attitude towards everything, not just school? Like
everything.
You just didn't care?
Didn't care. Everything. It changed my attitude altogether. You're 100% right. My attitude changed for everything.
Okay.
So, yeah. Which made it easier.
Yeah.
Because I stopped getting my ass kicked and I stopped, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People actually wanted to...
Do you think that if you could do it over again, would you do it differently?
Yes.
What would you do?
I would take my medication, seriously. Giving what I know now, I would take my medication all through school and just be like, you know what? I'm ADHD, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Where obviously back in the day I was very conservative and I was a bit like worried what everyone would think.
Yeah.
I'd change that if I could go back and do it again. I'd be just like, whatever.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I would have a better job than what I do now instead of operating heavy machinery, seriously. Because I'm a blue-collar worker now and I would, I think if I was to take my medication and take it continuously, I would have had a better shot at school.
Jeez, okay.
And I reckon I would have been somewhere else and I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be just operating a piece of heavy machinery in the mines. I think I could actually have made something in my life. See, I was an apprentice chef. I love cooking. Anyone that knows me, love cooking. Love being in the kitchen, love being on my smoker at home, love doing anything. Anything that makes me happy, well, one of the biggest things that makes me happy is when I cook food, whether it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
If I see someone go, man, that is awesome, that was really good, that makes me go, that's awesome. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
So when I do stuff on my smoker...
shout out to JC's Barbecue.
Yeah, shout out to JC's Barbecue. I'm doing JC's Barbecue. It's awesome. It's awesome. Trust me, it's awesome.
Tell listeners that's Chevy's other side project.
That's my other side
Give
project.
Give him a follow on socials. JC's Barbecue.
JC's Barbecue. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
So, no, but I do that stuff. And the stuff that I have cooked for other people, they've loved it. And they're like, oh, man, you got to cook me it again. Or, next time you do something on the smoker, let me know. And that deep down makes me feel good. So what I'm trying to say from the apprentice chef thing, that's probably what I would have done.
Okay. So let me ask you this question then. Do you think that feeling of, obviously, like you're saying, of making other people happy, because you have the opportunity to do that in obviously being a chef, that's why you're saying you would have done it? Whereas, obviously, in mining, you don't really have the opportunity to make people happy because it's not like...
It's the same monotonous job every day.
Yeah, and you don't have the ability to affect an individual person per se.
No.
So you going to mine coal doesn't necessarily make someone else happy.
Not really.
Even though...
Well, it does. It makes my missus happy because they get a big paycheck. So. But I get what you're saying. So, I do. It doesn't really. You're making the bosses happy. That's about it.
Yeah. So for you, it's more a case of the impact that you have on a particular person in terms of making them happy.
Yeah.
That's what really is you're passionate about. And
I love it.
Cooking
like this podcast
gives you that ability.
Yeah. Perfect example, this podcast. I'm hoping we make people happy with this podcast and they love listening.
Yeah.
Because then that would make, deep down, I'll be like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same with cooking. So I wouldn't, like what I was saying to you before about being a chef, I did 2.5 years of my apprenticeship and then I left because I was just like, can't do it. Money was terrible, whatever else. But I wouldn't have been a chef, if you know what I mean. I would have expanded that and gone into barbecue because my real passion is, and this is 100% honest truth, my real passion is barbecue, smoking. Like barbecue pit master.
So American Roadhouse kind of smoking.
Yes, 100%. Yes, that is where my passion lies. So even though I'd be a chef, I would have expanded later on down the track. I don't want to be stuck in some sort of 5-star la-di-da restaurant. Yeah. That's not me.
Yeah.
I would rather do exactly what you said. Roadhouse, American, cooking on a smoker, big briskets.
Yeah.
I love it. There's a show on Netflix called American Barbecue Showdown, just for anyone out there listening. Awesome show. That's the sort of stuff that I would want to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So that's the kind of thing that makes you happy.
Oh, I love it.
Which is really
It's the best. It's the best.
Let's go into a little bit of music.
Sure. Let's do
talk
it.
about your music.
Yep.
That you mentioned earlier.
So
how did you get into that? Where did it go?
Yeah. Okay.
What is it about music that you love?
Oh, mate, I love music so much that I always wanted to be in a band. That was my main thing. That was literally my main driving thing. My cousin, he's 2 years older than me, so he's like 36, 37 this year, I think he is. And he's he used to be the lead guitarist. And the guy that my best mate at school used to be a drummer. So I'm like, this is set up to, like, my best mate. He's actually in a band called now, if you've ever heard of him, Hurricane Fall.
No,
fair enough.
Someone else might have.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I just thought I'd hit you out to see if you did. But Hurricane Fall, they go
Shout out to Hurricane Fall.
Yeah, they're a country band. I don't like country.
I love country.
Oh, well, you'd like them.
Hurricane Fall.
Yeah, Hurricane Fall. Seriously, check them out. They go to...
I'm going to now.
Tamworth? Yeah, to country music festival. They go there every year. He used to be our drummer.
Okay.
And I grew up listening to, like, hard rock, like, old school punk, all that sort of stuff. And me... my cousin Nick and Lachlan, which is the one from Hurricane Fall with my best mate, us three, we were just like, let's make just a pop punk band like Blink-182, Sum 41.
They were so cool back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still, don't get me wrong. But
well, that's what we sort of wanted to be. We wanted to just be that easy pop punk, have a bit of a laugh. And we recorded 2 songs of our own. That's as far as we got. Then our drummer, he moved to Tamworth. Okay. So that was when obviously all shit fell down. It was but I've got a massive passion for music, and I used to play bass, and my cousin, he was the lead guitarist, and my old man played bass. He played bass in a band called Stage Fright, but they were just a pub band only.
Yeah.
So they'd play covers every Friday and Saturday night, back in like the 80s, early 90s, and he used to be the bass player. So I think my passion grew from that, from my old man, and his best mate used to be the lead guitarist. So they would always do covers, they would always play like Pink Floyd and, like, just like, all that old school stuff. Yeah. Aussie Crawl, whatever. So I think my passion built from that.
What is it about music that you love so much, though?
Just because there's just the feelings that you get from music. So music, I reckon, helps everyone. And that's my personal opinion, because no matter what mood you're in, there's always music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, music is one of those things that... Can you imagine life without music, to be honest with you? Can you imagine?
No, look, for me, I'm in the same boat as you. I wish my life had a soundtrack in the background.
Yeah, there you get what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%. So I think music makes us feel good.
I think there's an incredible power in music.
Yes.
Because, like you said, it has the ability to uplift you. It has the ability to change your mood.
Saying, yeah.
You know, you could be in a bad mood and you could listen to your favorite song and like within an instant you could just turn and
be happy.
You'd be happy.
Exactly right. And that is exactly what I'm trying to say. That's why I love it so much. Especially with playing bass as well. Or not just bass, but any instrument. It makes you feel good when you're like, well, we did a couple of gigs and all that sort of stuff. Like we were together probably best part of 7 years. And then that's when our drummer, Lachlan, he moved to Tamworth, which was, we stayed together, but once a month, man, trying to practice is...
Oh, no.
It was too hard. We did it for a while, and like we looked at our bank accounts and we're like, man, we're spending more money on fuel getting to Tamworth. So where I live to Tamworth, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we're driving 3 hours to practice, man. We was like, this is not plausible.
Not sustainable,
No, exactly right. But, so we sort of called it quits after about 6-7 years.
Okay. Do you miss it?
I do. I really do. That's one of my favourite things to do.
Any listeners out there wanting to start a band, get hold of Chev.
No, I want to do this podcast with you, to be honest. And that is... so, as much as I love it, don't get me wrong, as much as I love playing bass and all that sort of stuff, I sold all my equipment.
Okay.
I just sold it all because I'd rather, to be quite honest with you, I'd rather concentrate on barbecue and this podcast. They're my main two things now.
Okay.
That's why I don't do any overtime at work, because I'd rather do
this.
I'd rather do this.
Love it.
I don't want to go to work and do overtime when I can do barbecue, making people happy.
Yeah.
And hopefully this podcast makes people happy. Do you know what I mean? These are my two passions anyway.
Yeah.
That's my two passions.
All right, so ADHD. Let's get back into that kind of side of things. Obviously, you said it started off in school and then you dropped off your medication and then you just got to a point where you didn't care anymore.
No.
What changed? When did you get back? Because obviously you went off your medication. When did you get back to taking your medication?
See, I haven't taken my medication. So I stopped my medication when I was about 17 altogether. I was almost 18. I got to that adult stage, if you will. It got to the point where I'm like, I'm an adult. I don't need to play this game anymore. I don't need this medication. I had a string of jobs, and throughout, like when I say a string of jobs, I mean like you'd work at a job for a couple of months or even 18 months. You get fired, or I've never been fired in my life, but you'd leave. You get the shits because you'd be like, man, I'm so over it. It's so monotonous. So you'd leave, you go get another job. Be there for 12 months, if that. Yeah, I'm over this job. Got to go get another one. You know what I mean? So I'd have a string full of jobs. And it's only been in the last probably 4 years where I've really noticed something's got to give. And because I had obviously a bad incident out at work. Not in a bad way, but just me and one of the bosses had a bit of a blow up. And I got to the point where I almost lost my job. And I was like, wow, okay, something's got to give here.
So do you think that was the turning point for you?
Yes, definitely the turning point when I almost lost my job because I thought to myself, I can't provide for my daughter if I lose my job. If I lose this job, I will not.
How old's your daughter now?
She is 4. She just turned 4 in May.
So it's a critical age. Yes,
well, so when we had the blow up, she was about 2. So that was about 2 years ago. And as you say, critical age, got to the point where I was like, wow, if I lose this job, then how am I going to provide for her? That's what the turning point was for me.
It was more responsibility on your decision making.
Exactly right. If that was me and I didn't have any kids, I'd be like, I don't care, it's just another job.
Yeah.
But the fact is that I had another person to think about. I thought, I can't do this. I've got to do it for her.
It's funny how...
Yeah, it is.
When you have a child, that your decision making is totally different.
Yeah.
Before that, it's very selfish.
It is indeed.
For any parent out there, it becomes very selfless, your decision making.
Yeah.
Which is so contradictory to human nature.
Yeah, it is.
Because we're taught that, do what makes you happy.
Exactly. We're taught just, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Please let me say this. I do genuinely believe that you also have to have a bit of selfishness in order to make yourself happy.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you have the responsibility of another human being, that selfishness dissipates.
Exactly. And I never thought of it like that. I never thought of it like that. Because when I was younger, I was like, why the hell would I have kids? I'm out of control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I've got a daughter. I've got a 5-year-old, Harry. I've got my daughter, which is 4. Oh, sorry, I tell a lie. Harry's 6, Harlow's 4, and Charlie's 2. So they're all 2 years apart.
Yeah.
I never thought in a million years I'd have 3 kids and a missus and a dog.
Recently
got a dog. That's a losing battle, trust me. Mrs. going, I want a dog, I want a dog. Okay, yeah, right, darling, yeah, whatever. Yep, comes home, dog. Whatever. But yeah, I never thought I'd be set up the way I am.
Yeah.
Never in a million years, especially from where I've come from, being so disruptive and just out of control. Never been in trouble with the cops or anything, thankfully, touch wood. But never been in trouble with the cops or anything like that, but never thought I'd be where I am now. Not in a million years.
So back on medication now. Obviously, I think you mentioned that you're on the waiting list to get back on medication.
So I'm taking medication right now. So I just take one a day every morning when I wake up, and it just takes the edge off. It's not really medication for ADHD. It's more of an antidepressant.
Okay.
When I was talking to the doctor, I actually said that to her. I said, why the hell would I take antidepressants? You know me, I'm a happy kind of, lucky kind of guy.
Yeah,
I think sort of person. Why would I take antidepressants?
I think for me,
I'm not depressed.
If I had to ever, before obviously we got to know each other a little bit more, from the outside, whenever I looked at you, you always were this bubbly, energetic person, laughing, always making other people around you laugh. You weren't scared to like have a joke at yourself.
No, not at all. And that's the biggest thing as well.
Yeah.
Always poke fun at myself before anyone else.
Which is, I mean, so when I looked at you from the outside and then obviously got to know you a bit more and we're talking about these struggles, it was just such a shock to me to learn some of the stuff that I did learn.
Yeah. So what that I'm...
I mean, you and I have had some really good conversations, just in terms of how deep it did get.
Yeah.
Your struggles.
Yeah, so I've hit rock bottom a couple of times. I really have, to the point where I'm not going to lie to you. As I said, I'm going to be as open as I can on this podcast, just for the listeners as well, and obviously yourself. Mate, there's been so many times where I just thought about ending it all. It's just easier. It's easier just to hang yourself or cut your wrist and jump in a hot bath or whatever you want to do because it's easier. But it's like, now that I've got my daughter, that's where it all changed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that. I can't just off myself because I've got another person to think about. And I look back. Hope. She is the hope. And I look back at her when the day that she was born, all that sort of stuff, and I was the happiest. I was at my peak. And I look back and I just go, why would I want to kill myself? That's just stupid. That's just silly. Yeah, I mean, I look back there now. But yeah, so you're 100% right. She's the hope. She's awesome, but very sassy. She's a little bit of an a-hole.
I reckon she gets that from her dad.
Oh, she gets that actually from her mum. She gets that from her mum. Zero patience comes from dad.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot to unpack there, Chev. I think
I'll just quickly tell you. I just want to let anyone know that I would never do that now.
Yeah.
That was how I felt back in the day. Where I was
you've got the help. You're on the medication.
I've got the best missus in the world. She's awesome. She supports me.
Yeah, you got the best support system that you can have. So I think all these factors come into it.
Yeah.
To kind of build that network of support that you need in order to grow out of that situation,
Yeah. So
I think if I can look at it for me from the outside is that you kind of have a purpose now.
Yes, I do.
That's beyond just your own selfish purpose.
Exactly right. You've got other people to think about.
And so you're working towards fulfilling a promise or a purpose or a goal at the end of the day. And so there's more meaning to your journey. Yeah, there is.
100% there is. Like, where before I had nothing really going for me. Didn't have like a house, I didn't have a car. Like, but this before, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was one of those things where it's like, what have I got? What have I got to show for it? Nothing. Where nowadays, you're right. Like, I got awesome missus that would bend over backwards for me. Like, we go to bed, like we'll go to bed, like me and you, like for night shift and all that. But she'll cook me dinner. She'll make sure I'm fed before I go to work. Like she cleans up the whole house. She bends over backwards. The kids are like obviously being 6, 4, and 2. They're a bit out of control. Like but they're kids.
Yeah.
Especially with my young bloke, which we'll get into later episodes later episodes. But my young bloke's just been diagnosed with autism. So that's
how was that, Chev? When you and your missus found out about that, how was that to kind of take in? So having a similar struggle yourself.
It was. So my missus already knew because it's like my stepchild. So she already knew, but she didn't know because she doesn't have what we have. If that makes sense. So she's like a normal person. Doesn't have. If that makes sense. How would I say that?
She doesn't struggle with ADHD.
Yeah, or she doesn't struggle with autism or any mental health. She doesn't struggle with any of that stuff.
Okay. She has her own struggles.
Yes.
But it's not the same struggle as you.
Not mental health struggles, no.
And I think while we're on here, let me just quickly do a side note.
Right. Go for it.
That probably is the one thing that I've discovered the most during this journey that we've started in this podcast is that you might not understand someone else's struggle.
Yes.
That does not mean that their pain in their struggle is any lesser than yours.
No, that's exactly right. And I think with what you've said, the people that don't struggle with mental health or just struggles in general, I think a lot of people don't understand what you go through. They just think you can get over it. And it's not like that. It's unless you've had mental health or struggles in everyday life, you've got no idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
Where she's like that. Not saying she's a bad person, but she hasn't struggled with that stuff. Like she's got her own struggles, definitely. But yeah, so it was very hard because when I first got with my missus, so I've known my missus for 21 years. And when we first got together, like we got back on Facebook and I was like, hey, what are you up to? Blah, 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 blah. And it just snowballed from there. When she come to live with me, Harry was 5. So I've been in her life now with the kids for 18 months, almost 2 years. When he was diagnosed when we first started talking again. So she was still living in Melbourne and I was living in New South Wales. So it was one of those things where I didn't really know because I've never dealt with someone with autism. So he's full-blown autism with ADHD, but more autism. He's like, I think they said level 2 autistic.
Okay.
So he's very smart.
Yeah.
His mathematics is his favourite subject. So he's already doing times tables and he's already plus and he's in kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah. The teachers are like, mate, these kids, nothing bad, but these kids aren't meant to be multiplying. They've got no idea. They're still writing their name, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Here he is multiplying and plussing. He's like, 150 plus 50 is like 200. And the teacher's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is very exhausting.
Yeah.
He's a good kid, switched on, but he's like me, gets out of control.
So let's talk about the journey of this now. Obviously, having a kid, what's the process? Tell us how you combat the struggles.
Yeah. So what happened was
what are some of the tools you use?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll start from the start.
Yeah.
So my missus found he was very out of control, wasn't concentrating, all that sort of stuff. So she's like, maybe there's something going on there. So she's booked him in, to the GP, all that sort of stuff. They said, we're going to book you a specialist appointment because we think there's something else going on there. Anyway, on the waiting list, went through all the rigmarole. Then she got to the point where she went and seen a mental health nurse. I think that's what they call them. And the mental health nurse is like, yep, we're going to book into a proper specialist for kids, like a paediatric nurse.
Yep.
Because, he's out of control. Anyway, without dragging the story on, long story short, went through all the rigmarole, all that sort of stuff. Yep, he's got autism, stage 2. And I think there's I think that's what they said. Stage 2 is I think there's another one I'm not 100% sure on this stuff. So that's why I'm trying to be a bit careful.
Okay.
But I think there's one that's higher than him, which is non-verbal autistic.
Yeah.
Where he's stage 2, where he's very high functioning. I think you got that there.
Yeah. So basically,
I'm just trying to explain it to the listeners. As I said, I'm just trying to be careful with what I say because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. So obviously, when we refer to autism, there's what they call the spectrum.
Yes.
So spectrum is basically the different levels in which they grade an individual's autistic level.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's typically diagnosed based on observed behaviours, developmental history, severity of levels ranging from mild to severe.
Yep.
Okay. And it ranges across areas of functioning, such as social communication.
Yep.
So that's why obviously a lot of...
Which he's got none of that.
Yeah, so you can have difficulty communicating.
Yep.
Repetitive behaviours, so as they continue to do the same thing over and over again.
Yep, that's him.
That's one of the signs of autism. And then obviously the big one that a lot of people do recognise is sensory sensitivities.
Which is him 100%.
Light, noises.
Noises sets him off.
Touch sensitivity. So all of those kind of things are associated with autism. So it's just a high sensitivity towards that.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, when we talk about stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, whatever the case is, it's basically how severe in their conditioning they are.
Yeah, okay. So when you've got ADHD, you've on the spectrum no matter what, to some degree. So that's why I said, I've got ADHD and autism, but more ADHD because I'm on the spectrum where he's more autistic than what he is ADHD, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's not non-verbal, if you know what I mean. He's very high function, very smart. So anyway, but it's very exhausting. Yeah. Me and my missus, we're pretty good. We don't really argue, but when we're exhausted, we don't argue about really anything. We're like me and you, bounce off each other. We connect really well. Sometimes when we get exhausted, we do have a bit of a
that's natural
chip at each other. Yeah. Because it's so exhausting having me as ADHD and him. Because he'll do something to set me off.
So do you find now? Yeah. So do you find now that there's even more importance to you, kind of taking medication in order to maintain that, so you don't add fuel to the fire?
Because that's what's happened. Yeah. Even my missus said that. She goes, I understand that you're ADHD and you've got autism and all that. And same, like, obviously with Harry, my young bloke. But she said, you's just back and forth. He's add fuel to the fire. He adds fuel to your fire. Like, it's very hard. My missus is ready to shoot us both.
Okay.
She's like...
Shame. She loves you.
She does. She's awesome. She is the best thing in the world. But she's like, I'm ready to strangle both of you.
Okay. So what are some of the tools that you use to help Harry?
So we have a OT that comes to see him once a week, and she does like different stuff with him. And
so just for those of you who don't know, OT stands for occupational therapist.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So she'll come and see him once a week and try out different things where there's like a little brush that they got, like a scrubbing brush, and they put it on his skin and
get him used to the sensory.
Yeah, sensory, like all different sensory stuff. Like I think it was last week, she come over. Her name is Molly. And they were blowing bubbles in a bucket. Do you know what I mean? Like just little stuff to get being 6 years old, his mind's like an absolute sponge still.
Yep.
So yeah, he's trying to get him to do that sort of stuff. Like, and they'll build forts, and like Molly will build forts with him and stuff like that. Just like different stuff so she can monitor where his brain's at.
Okay. So one of the tools is obviously occupational therapy.
Yeah, occupational therapy.
Which is really good, because I really do feel that occupational therapists are so key to a child's development when it comes to them struggling with ADHD and autism.
Yeah,
they are incredible. And majority of occupational therapists that I've had the privilege of coming into contact with, they're angelic. They have the patience of a saint.
They are amazing people.
They are incredible people.
I'm just trying to think about Molly.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously my young bloke's occupational therapist. Mate, Molly is the most placid, loveliest girl. And you're 100% right. How she has as much patience as she does is incredible.
Well, I think that is... It's important to know that it's so key that when it comes to autism, that you do maintain a level of calmness. Yeah. Because your child feeds off the energy that you bring. So if you start to get angry and you start to get worked up, your child, because they are so sensitive to these things, immediately picks up on that, and then they start to add fuel to the fire by getting stressed out and worked up, and it does not help the situation. So that's why I think occupational therapists, they are so good with the way that they just remain so level, so calm, so just placid, like you say.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're right. Yeah. Like with the energy thing, my energy's really high.
Yeah.
And we muck around with each other, then he gets real high energy. And my missus like, I can't handle this. I'm like, but that's how he's ADHD, autism. I'm ADHD, autism. That's how we muck around together. But what you said, his energy matches. You know what I mean? You're adding fuel to the fire, matching energy, and it's just like that's why my missus gets so overwhelmed sometimes. She goes, having 2 years with ADHD and autism is exhausting.
Yeah.
So, yes, occupational therapy. Yeah, is awesome.
She's medication.
Awesome. Medication. I'm not sure of medication for him, but for me personally, with ADHD, I take sertraline, which, as I said, that's an antidepressant. I'm looking at being because I'm on the list for October to actually get proper medication. So some of the proper medication that I know of is like Ritalin, Vyvanse, I think it's Dextradril. That's another one. And then like your dexamphetamines and stuff like that. Different. They're the different medications that I know of, and I was on dexamphetamines when I was a kid.
Yep.
So and that worked. It really suppresses your appetite, though. That's the only side effect that I had with it.
Okay.
So if you look at old photos of me, wow. I'm like that hat rack. I'm skinny as.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the person, but it really worked.
Okay.
And it's slow release.
And then I also think one of the key things that obviously you were speaking about is that outlet for creativity.
Yes.
So obviously you were music creative. Now that's not to say every person that struggles with ADHD or autism is going to be, but I think the key thing is to create an outlet in order for them to express their creativity or their
whether it be art,
gifting, whether it be art, music, sport.
Yep.
The other one, obviously, you mentioned is he's incredibly intelligent. So allow him the room to then expand in that, go in maths, give him these kind of tools to use that and that gifting that he has. So I think that's one of the things that I can honestly say is just to create that space where they can roam free in their particular field of creativity, their outlet to release that energy that they have. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, it's like what you said. Like, like he's good with maths. Just depends on that person. Like, I've got a mate of mine. So my stepdad, my stepdad, one of his best mates, has moved to Sydney. Like years ago, moved to Sydney. But his young bloke's autistic. He's actually gone to the School of Music. He can play like 7 different instruments. Yeah. So it just depends. Like exactly what you said. It could be art. Could be music. Could be anything. It could be anything. So they are very, very intelligent people. Like as I said to you, like the teachers at school, they were like, man, he's doing like year 2 maths. Like, and he's in kindergarten. Like, so hopefully it makes me a lot of money.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I mean, let's go. Why not?
So that's why I never write off people with ADHD or autism, because they are very switched on, but in their own way.
I think,
and a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people just go, oh, you got to, like, it's a disability. That's what it is. It's classified as a disability.
I think the key is people who struggle with it, they battle in communicating their thoughts or their feelings. And that's where people don't understand. Because they don't get the communication side of things, that they don't understand it, and therefore they get frustrated or irritated, or
it's like sometimes when you get as frustrated with me, and you always go, you got to think about what you say first.
You don't have a filter.
No, I don't. I don't think about what I say. That's part of ADHD. You just full throttle. Don't think about what you say. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
No, that's fine. Let's bring this into land, Chev. What advice do you have for people who are struggling with ADHD, autism, or even have a loved one?
I would definitely say, don't write them off. Get them checked out. If you think there's something going on, like their behaviour is out of control or whatever, don't just write them off. Don't just jump on them.
Don't think it's a bad behaviour trait.
Exactly. That is exactly right. Don't think like that. Get them checked out. Take them to your GP. Get them checked out and ask questions before you just write them off, because more chances, more chances than none, they got an issue with ADHD or autism, or it doesn't even have to be that. It could be other Asperger's or whatever it may be. That sort of stuff. If you get them checked out, a little bit of medication or whatever else, I'll tell you what, it'll make a hell of a difference. So pretty much my message to them is, don't write them off. If you're not sure about something, take them to the GP and further your knowledge of that. Ask questions. Go, how come my son's carrying on, mucking around, like there's obviously something else there. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Like, it's not just him being an arsehole. That's
awesome.
It's obviously something else there that you need to ask about. And I'd definitely say, get them checked out, whether it be medication or psychotherapy or whatever else the doctor orders. Just ask questions.
Yeah. First step in anything is ask questions.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, just don't write them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chev. Thank you for sharing a bit of your story with everyone, with us.
Yeah, it's not everything, but it's the gist of what I went through, if you know what I mean. Like, that's the majority of what happened when I was growing up. And
it gives us a good insight into who you are today and the struggles you have and just the things that have made you who you are. Thank you for
thankful. I was just going to say, I am thankful that I've gone through what I've gone through, because I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Exactly.
So I am thankful, but and I am in a happy place at the minute. Still struggling day to day, but I am in a happier place.
So thank you so much for
that's all right.
for that and for being open and to sharing all that you did. I know I've gained a lot of insights into you and to obviously ADHD and autism and just come up with a few tools. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm always willing to share. Yep. So any questions or anything like that, I'm always an open person and I'm always willing to share. So knock yourself out.
All right, lovely. And then just to end it off, we're going to start a tradition on this podcast.
Yeah,
the last thing that we do on this podcast. I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh,
and we'll ask every guest this question who comes on our show.
Yeah, good.
And the question is, how can you do something today that will make tomorrow better?
How can I do something today that would make, I think, being a better person today? So, not being a complete tool bag. Whether it be just, putting a smile on someone's face or helping the missus out or helping me mum out do something today, I think will make it a better tomorrow. And if someone just did something nice today for someone, and everyone did that, I think the world would be a better place. Oh, jeez, I sound like Miss America.
I love it. Beautiful.
I sound like Miss America.
Beautiful.
But you know what I'm getting at. I just think if someone did something nice for someone, I think the world would be a better place.
Thank you, Chev. Thank you very much for sharing.
I really enjoy it. Don't forget, check out our socials. You can tell them I'm the guest here. You can go.
Yes, they can check out our socials, please. That's Leave a Light On Podcast. That's Instagram and on Facebook.
Yep.
Give us a follow. Give us a like. Drop us some comments.
Sweet.
And we hope to see you all again on the next episode.
Yeah, hopefully if all goes well, I've got to talk to you about it, but I'm hoping we can delve into you and your background.
We'll see how that goes.
Anyway, I'm pretty keen. I am pretty keen.
Thank you, Chev. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. And hope to see you all again on the next episode.
Yeah, you guys take it easy and stay safe out there, eh?
Yeah, leave a light on. Let's go.
Right, see ya.
Hey, thanks for listening. We hope you managed to gain some insight from today's episode. Jump onto our socials and reach out. And until next time, wherever you are, let's leave a light on.